Jai Shri Narayan. Jai Shri Narayan. Jai Shri Narayan. I pay my obeisances to my spiritual master, to my Jagat Guru Sudarshan Acharya Maharaj. I pay my obeisances to Lord Sri Ramayana. I pay my obeisances to our Purva Acharyas. I pay my obeisances to our 12 Bhavas. I pay my obeisances to Mother Lakshmi. And I pay my obeisances to Lord Sri Narayan. I welcome all of you here physically at the Sri Narayan Dham. I welcome those that are watching this discourse locally, nationally, and internationally. And I welcome in advance those that are going to be watching this discourse when it is posted on YouTube and the various groups from around the world. We welcome Lord Dham, Mother Sitha, and all the Devis and Devatas that took part in the Ramayana. The Ramayana is not a myth, it is history of Bharat. I want to also say that Mother Lakshmi welcomes all of you. This ashram is the abode of Mother Lakshmi, and it was on this day that Mother Lakshmi appeared from the churning of the ocean. It was on this day that Lord Ram returned from the forest after 14 years of exile, and it was also on this day that Lord Sri Krishna annihilated a demon. You will notice that Lord Ram appeared from his exile in Treta Yuga. Lord Krishna annihilated this demon in Dwapara Yuga, and Mother Lakshmi appeared in Satyuga, but all on this auspicious day. Then there is a common thread that is running through all these days. Also on this day, Mother Durga annihilated certain demons. There is a common thread in all its aspects. In all these examples, the Lord has appeared himself, and whenever the Lord appears, Mother Lakshmi also appears, and wherever the Lord and Mother Lakshmi appears, Devis and Devatas appear with them. Today is the 4th of November 2021, and I'm saying this so that when this discourse is transcribed, this date is noted. Today the US Senate is bringing through the Senate a bill which will declare Diwali a national holiday in America. And it is absolutely great because the population of America is a couple 100 million, and there's only 5 million Hindus in America. Notwithstanding that, from next year in America, Diwali will be a public holiday. Also in many parliaments today around the world, Western parliaments, diyas will be lit in their parliament, France and I think the UK as well, and many other Western parliaments from around the world. So the essence of Diwali and the essence of Sanatana Dharma is once again being re-established around the world. And the reason this is happening is that Sanatana Dharma is not a religion. It is easy to be adopted by any other religion or country because Sanatana Dharma is a living science. Sanatana Dharma is a living science and it can be easily adopted in any sphere of life. And this is why the Western governments, they understand the science behind the word Diwali and they are adopting this science so that they can benefit, their country can benefit, and the country and humankind can benefit as a whole. And it is for this reason, for the benefit of humankind and not Hindus, that Diwali is celebrated around the world. Not for Hindus specifically, but for humankind. And I'm going to explain. So when Mother Lakshmi was churned out of the milky ocean, she chose Lord Sri Narayan to be her eternal consort. Alright? I'm just talking in this context. I'm not going to explain why she appeared. Remember, she is the eternal consort, so she's always with Lord Sri Narayan. But in this context of the churning of the milky ocean. So, Mother Lakshmi appeared from this churning, poison appeared from this churning, and there was an elixir that also appeared, a nectar, pure nectar from this churning. And if you have this pure nectar, then you become immortal. And by becoming immortal means that you are liberated, you do not take another body. And it also made, in the context of the churning of the Milky Ocean, which is a historical and a scientific truth, that churning of the ocean did take place. This ocean of milk lies right on top of the planetary system, and this is where Lord Vishnu resides when material creation takes place. So this is a historical and a scientific truth, and as I've explained previously, this historical and scientific truth must play an important part in humankind's life today. Although it happened millions and trillions of years ago, it must play an important and significant part in mankind today. Devashni must be able to use this historical truth and this scientific truth of the churning of the ocean in her life today at the age of, what's your age, Devashni? 70. Dhana at the age of 200 must also be able to use the same historical truth and scientific truth in his ancient years. And Devashni must be able to use it in her youthful years. God does not incarnate for a specific time only. He incarnates for all times. Science is not created for a particular time. It's created for all time. Gravity exists from the beginning of creation until the end of creation. Similarly, Sanatana Dharma and all the historical truths and the absolute sciences that accompany these historical truths lives from creation up until annihilation. And the benefit is not only for humankind, it's for all living entities. So what is this churning of the ocean? How can it be applied in Tiveshni's mind and Dana's mind? Remember, Dana is ancient and Tiveshni is 17. But how can this churning of the ocean benefit this too? So symbolically, churning of the ocean, as I said, which really happened, God showed by example, and then now we use it symbolically. The churning of the ocean is churning of your mind. Churning of your ocean is churning of your mind. In churning of the ocean, they use the snake Vasuki. So the demons grab the one side of the snake, and the Devis and Devatas grab the other side of the snake. And the Lord, in the form of a tortoise, remained underneath the snake and balanced the snake when it was being churned. Alright? Or in the form of a mountain. The form of a mountain. Then, what is this churning of the snake? Symbolically, it is the oscillation of the mind, the tug and pull of the mind. When the Devis and Devatas will pull, they'll pull your mind towards righteousness, and when the demons will pull, they'll pull your mind towards unrighteousness. By the tug and pull of this mind, all the bad thoughts, the negativity that exists in the mind will be released from the mind in the form of poison. All the good thoughts will be released from the mind in the form of nectar. And when all the poison is drawn out, then prosperity will enter your being. And that prosperity is Mother Lakshmi. So it has an everyday application. This is called Diwali, the celebration of the tug and pull of the mind. And when the darkness from the mind is removed and light comes into the mind, that is called Diwali. You understand? Then let us go to Lord Ram coming out of exile for a period of 14 years, which means that the tug and the pull of the mind is not instantaneous. You can't have victory in one day. If the Lord had to sacrifice 14 years, then you also have to have patience. You are suffering, you may be in the forest of your life today, but this symbolism gives you a guarantee that although darkness, you may be thinking you are in perpetual darkness, the Lord is giving you a guarantee that it is only finite. It is only finite. demons that keep us in darkness, Lord Krishna is showing that he can annihilate them, notwithstanding how long they keep us in darkness. So let's put all of these things in its context and its perspective, and let us unpack it scientifically. Let us unpack it scientifically. There is a lot of controversy right now. I've shared a lot on my post on the ban of fireworks. India especially, they're talking about pollution and CO2 emission. Alright? And it is a beautiful subject. It is not related. It is not related, but it shows the tug and pull of man's mind. There's some beautiful arguments that is saying that those that are compassionate to animals must not light fireworks because of the compassion of animals. Then there's another group that is stating that if you are so compassionate to animals, don't eat meat. Don't do bakri and become a vegetarian. So it is up to the individual. It is up to the individual to see which side. Remember, they're talking about animals and they're talking about CO2 emission. And I just saw in one of the posts that one McDonald's burger emits the same amount of CO2 as lighting fireworks in a single day in one space. Alright? So all these things does not matter. All these things are neither here nor there. Remember, this universe that we are living in is 155 trillion years old. These stories have come, these stories have gone cyclically and timelessly. You don't think 10,000 years ago there was a similar story? Don't you think 20,000 years ago there was a similar story? Don't you think 100,000 years ago there was a similar story? But this universe is still in existence despite all the stories and whatever has been said and done. Alright? Once man realizes that this universe is not a universe of chance, that we have cosmic administrators. Cosmic administrators are in charge of CO2, in charge of oxygen, in charge of sunlight, in charge of rain. Once scientists and these material humans understand, then it is not necessary to get into these stupefied arguments. These stupefied arguments. How can these stupefied arguments stop? It's coming up in Diwali, and Diwali itself can stop these arguments. And how is that? Jai Bharat. You churn your mind. You churn your mind. When you complete churning your mind, light dawns upon that darkness. And what is that light? Knowledge. That light is knowledge, symbolically shown by the light in the diya. Right? A few decades ago, scientists would have stated that this flame burning here in front of me has no life. You think this flame has life in it? Yes, there's fire microbes in this flame. That means there's life form even in fire. There's life form even in water. There's life form even in air. Alright? But a few decades ago, scientists were not accepting this. Today they are accepting this, and the Vedas has stated this eternally. Vedas has stated this eternally. So there is life in light, and there is life in knowledge, which symbolically is shown by the light of the diya. Are you understanding the context so far of this discourse? So we will use this Diwali and all Diwalis, as long as the Sri Narayan Dham exists, to light up the darkness in the mind of men. And when we light up the darkness in the minds of men, there is a churning. There is a churning that takes place between righteousness and unrighteousness. And when the churning takes place between righteousness and unrighteousness, all the negativity in the form of poison is exuded from the mind, and the mind is lit up by the prosperity of Mother Lakshmi and the knowledge of Mother Saraswati. When you have attained enlightenment and wisdom through the Vedas, then these debates become insignificant. These debates become insignificant. Lord Ram, when he appeared from his exile, exile will present darkness. Exile will present darkness. Who did he meet on the other side? Sana, when he came out of his exile, whom did he meet first, and what was his first reaction? He saw his Guru and he prostrated fully. He saw his Guru and he prostrated fully. So when you come out of your darkness, you must grab the feet of your Guru and don't let it go. Does not matter how dark your life was. At the other end of darkness, waiting for you eternally is your always. And if the Lord shone through full prostration, when he came out of his darkness, he never ran for his kingdom, he never ran for anything else. He immediately prostrated fully to his Guru. And this is the message for mankind. That outside your darkness, your light is your Guru. Throughout the Ramayana, the Guru-disciple relationship is established and endorsed throughout the Ramayana. Throughout the Ramayana, the Guru-disciple relationship is endorsed 100%. Who shows this in the Ramayana? Lord Hanuman. Lord Hanuman is the disciple of Lord Ram. And he has done everything in perfection. He is the perfect disciple. Hanuman Baba is the perfect disciple. And in the Hanuman Chalisa, in the very first line, Shri Guru Charana Sarojara. So wearing new clothes, whipping up tasty foods on this day, lighting of firecrackers, and visiting family is the material aspect of the. And you can do that your whole life. And in the end you will still die in exile. You will die in exile. To come out of that exile, if you do not get this enlightenment, and in this Diwali you do not churn your anger, your hatred, your pride, your jealousy, if these things are still in you, you can light how many candles you want. You can cook how much of prasad you want. You can sing how many bhajans you want. You can accuse yourself of polluting this planet. You can accuse yourself of polluting this planet. Because if Ravana still exists in you, this is Ravana, anger is Ravana, jealousy is Ravana, arrogance is Ravana, pride is Ravana, greed is Ravana. Did Ram and Ravana exist together? No. Did Ram and Ravana coexist? No. There was no coexistence. They were opposites. Ram's duty was to annihilate Ravana, and the Guru's duty is to annihilate the Ravana within. The Guru assists in annihilating the Ravana that is within you. And if you understand that, then the essence of Diwali can be celebrated. That ceremonial Diwali, on this day, prasad, running to family, meeting friends, giving prasad to people you hate. Yes or no? Holding and hugging people that you hate and that hate you. It is all a show. Remove the hatred, replace it with love and compassion. When embrace those people properly, even if you don't have some prasad for them satisfied. Yes, a hug and the removal of all the negativity. That is Diwali. All of you understand? So, I hope that you spend the rest of your day in positivity. If you are visiting any enemies today, use the Guru's advice and become friends. Use the Guru's advice and become friends. Otherwise, the concept of Diwali, the real essence, the science behind the lighting of this lamp will be lost. This lamp is just a ceremonial symbol. Behind the symbol is the actual science. And the actual science is to churn your mind, and remove all negative qualities that you possess. So with that, I want to wish you all that are present here, your families, your friends, your associates, whoever you are meeting today, take this message across to them, tell them, Devashni, my Guru said, you must not be enemies, you must have no hatred, you must have no pride. Take this, because ultimately this will lead to the concept that we are teaching, which is called oneness. And when you have achieved oneness in your life, Diwali will be every day. You won't need a particular day in a year to remind you, because once you achieve oneness, then you're celebrating the absolute truth on a daily basis. We also want this message to permeate every corner of the globe, because we are affected globally. Something that happens in one part of the world affects the entire world, because aren't we living in a global village at the moment? Okay? So we also want to wish everyone around the world a happy and a prosperous Diwali, and we want, in my lifetime, that is why I gave you a date before, to see Diwali celebrated in every country around the world. And it's also pleasing to note that many Islamic countries have allowed the Hindus to celebrate Diwali in their country. So Diwali is going to become a worldwide celebration, and if you look at satellite photos tonight, you'll see diyas lit around the world. Jai Shri Narayan.